chosen ones, what we have to realize, and what I've learned, is that everything you loved about the narcissist, from beginning of the journey to where you are now, everything you found admirable, you liked about them, you loved about them, it was all a facade. It didn't exist. I know it's brutal for you to hear this, but we have to embrace the fact that this was their mask. It was the facade. It was as a means to influence us and a means to manipulate us, to opening up to them, for us to grow fond to them. It didn't exist. And that's why when you've unmasked them, you've had such a harsh awakening to who they really are, to who you thought they become at the time. You're thinking, how could this person become this? But if you embrace the fact that you know that this was a means of deception, this facade that they masqueraded through life with, once you know it was as a tool of deception, that's all they were seeking to do, was deception. They were seeking to decept you, to make you open up, to make you fall in love with them. So then once they had you in their clutch, they then began to devalue you. And a lot of us, what we've actually fallen in love with is the love bomb. It's very unnatural. It's very, very unnatural. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. It's the love bomb. It didn't exist. You know, a lot of us were asleep when we met these individuals. We didn't really know about narcissism. We hadn't studied it. And this is why they were able to exploit us. They were able to exploit us and use our own goodness. They tried to use our own goodness against us. They did use our own goodness against us and made us become very accustomed to having them by our sides. Some of us grew very attached. And as I mentioned earlier, it wasn't until the unmasking when we got the harsh reality of who they are. You know, a lot of us really didn't see it coming. But if we got to just look at the bigger picture now, we've got to look at the bigger picture. And if we fell in love with something that wasn't real, as hard as that is to hear, you know, it took us on a journey, but we fell in love with something that wasn't real. It didn't exist. We don't need to be caught up on these individuals. We don't need to be in need of supply from these individuals. We don't need to act like narcissists and need supply. We don't need them being by our side for us to feel whole again. You know, we don't need them individuals. Them individuals are worthless because there's something brighter for you out there, as I've mentioned before in previous videos. You know, this was the universe's way of separating us and letting us have blessings poured into our lives. We couldn't get these blessings that we're going to experience now through our journey if we had these individuals in our lives. You know, we're going to meet someone who's loving, who's empathetic, who's possibly a chosen one, who's very spiritually aware. We're going to meet someone who's on the same page as us. And none of this would have happened if we'd had these individuals in our lives. A lot of us, through this harsh experience that we go through the narcissistic discard, whether we had to break up with them or whatever, just being involved with a narcissist, a lot of us run into our purpose, and we get aligned with our purpose as well, and we'll be able to develop our craft, and we'll be able to become better individuals. But you've got to understand that once you've got to get to the point of understanding that you fell in love with this facade, and this facade was there to destroy you. It was just a means to destroy you. It was just a means to keep of deception. It didn't exist. And the closer and more dearly you hold that to your heart. Hold that dearly to your heart. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of holding them dearly to your heart, hold the fact that they was a hypocrite. They was a liar. They did what they showed you didn't exist. And yeah, it's painful, but on the flip side of it, it's like they're the ones that are lost. They're operating through life without being real. They're fake. They're a facade. And they'll continue to operate that like that through life. And that's them. And eventually you've got to understand, yeah, you met them at a period of time, but towards their older years, it will really catch up on them. It will really catch up on them, all of this deception that they've done through their lives. It will come back on them. Possibly even being involved with you, it's come back on them already. Like, when they mess with a chosen one, they'll get a harsh reality as well. Yeah. Because no longer can they find a supply worthy of our level of supply. Can't equate to us. They find themselves lost without us. They find themselves in need of a supply, and they find themselves running into toxic individuals as well. So don't worry about it. Their facade is getting them nowhere. Their facade is digging them a grave, and the universe separated us from them. Even if it was the narcissist that got rid of you, it was the universe and God's way of them separating from us. So we stay safe and we stay blessed. But anyway, thanks for stopping by today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.